safe schools. We want to make sure that every safety measure is in place to the utmost to protect our kids, to protect our families, to protect our communities.
We are here today to come together as a community that seems to be broken in these times and really come together for the one thing we all believe in: safety for the kids at school, safety for the teachers, so that when this is all over, we don't come out with some kind of tragedy happening.
Well, like everyone else here, I'm concerned that it's too early to open. I think that the decisions have been hasty, beginning with earlier this summer when we were asked to make a decision very quickly about whether we would choose a year-long online program or come back to this hybrid model, which was not laid out in any way. I think the teachers and our new principal have done an amazing job with what they have, but the idea that we're going to suddenly open, be the guinea pig for the whole state of California, and put our children, and it's our elementary kids that come out first, put our children at risk, and when our children get at risk, our parents get at risk, and all these really great teachers who are already working in extenuous circumstances, they're at risk and putting their own families at risk as well. So I just think it's way too early.
The nurses have some huge concerns about the reopening of schools right now. We do think that school can reopen eventually, and we hope that it will be soon, but we're not ready. The health office is not ready. There is ventilation problems in the health office. There's no protection, PPE. I know that the board, the bureaucracy, administrators think that we have proper PPE, but it's this, and this is not what you use when you're faced with someone who has possible COVID-19.
As far as we can tell, an impossible time implementing any of the plans that the district might have in place. We're not confident that the plans are safe. Social distancing is going to be impossible at all levels. I'm a secondary teacher, and our students I might have I'll have half of my students at one time. When they leave my classroom, they're going to be in the hallways and mixing up, and they're going to come back and they'll be in class with a whole another cohort of students. On top of that, another huge concern is that the instructional minutes will decrease drastically. So we feel like the current plan is not only unsafe, but it provides less instruction for our students, and so that is why we are out here today.
Why are we here?
We are here because our students and employees need a better plan for us to be able to reopen our schools. It needs more detail and more specifics.
So what exactly is the more specifics?
So for one thing, making sure that all students of all ages are wearing masks within the classroom. Another is making sure that everyone coming on campus is going through the same screening protocol. So, if employees get a temperature check, then students and outside vendors, who come in to do maintenance work should go through that same process. Those would be two straightforward examples.
So none of the schools are already implementing this?
Well, students haven't come onto campus yet. And so our employees union has been talking with the administration for several months. And we've been pretty specific with a lot of questions that we're asking, looking for more details. And many of those answers we get are kind of just 2 sentences with no detail to support them. And knowing that the school board has voted for us to return to school within 2 weeks, we're very concerned there's just not enough thought into these safety plans.
Who are you holding responsible for this decision?
I think it's like a systemic illness within the district. The communication is very poor. I don't know if the people on the school board really have an understanding of what is going on the different campuses. So there's a lack of communication coming from the top all the way down. I am a site rep, a union site rep, and I can't even tell you how many text messages I've gotten from people, and I'm talking hundreds since the shutdown occurred, with people asking questions that really shouldn't be my job to answer. This should be planned out. There should be a place for teachers and parents to get their answers, not just get an email on a Friday night when everyone's going for the weekend that sketches out what's happening in the future. It's just a real lack of communication and leadership from the top down.
I'm really nervous about returning and having our students exposed to one another. A single exposure could really just go around viral. And some of the biggest measures that I'm worried about are the fact that they're not requiring masks for transitional kindergarten to 2nd grade. It's an option. And the second thing is that we are required to monitor the students based on sight, but not based on temperature checks or anything. I can't tell if somebody has a fever based on sight.
What would make this school reopening safer for you?
To wait until we're at least in yellow so that the counts are down, and to make sure that we have all the PPE in place and that everything is working really well. Everything feels very, very rushed right now. And we want everything already in place so that it's safe for everybody.
What plan could they implement that would make you feel safe with it opening?
Actually have a concrete plan, not just here's the bare bones sketch, now you figure it out. We would like to see proper PPE, proper hand sanitizing in every classroom, hand wash stations spread out throughout school campuses, a proper hybrid plan of how are the kids going to be separated into cohorts. And the current plan, we see our students once a week if we go back right now. That's worse than online.
We're lacking in all the PPE equipment. They have no cleaning supplies in the warehouses. We are not doing screenings. There's no safety precautions. The masks are questionable whether they're supposed to be being used in the classrooms. It's kind of up to the teachers' discretions.
And what is it you teach?
I teach special ed. So special ed, we're a mod severe classroom where our students are very, we need to be very involved, hand over hand, everything. My students are the most health compromised. It's not possible to maintain the 6 feet apart safely.
My name is Alex Goodman. I'm an English teacher at Newport Harbor High School. And as a teacher, my top priority is always to give my students a safe and effective educational opportunity. A lot of people have already talked about why this hybrid plan is not safe. I want to add to that why it is also not going to be effective. This is going to be a step back for our students academically because it will be a less effective educational environment than what we are doing now through distance learning. If you think about the brief amount of time that our students are going to spend on campus in the same room as their teachers, they are going to lose instructional time because of all of the attention that needs to be paid to the necessary safety requirements that are so important right now because community spread is still so substantial in our county. On top of that, they are not going to be able to do any collaborative activities. They won't be able to share materials. They will not be able to do any sort of group work or partner work, and they will not be able to get individual attention from their teachers because they're all going to be 6 feet away from each other wearing masks the whole time. Not to mention, socially and in terms of their mental health, this will be worse for them. They are going to lose half of their classmates who will be in the other cohort. And the classmates that they will be able to see right in front of them, they're going to have to stay 6 feet away. They're not going to be able to interact with them. They're not going to be able to play together at recess. They're not going to be able to sit next to each other at lunch. On top of all this, they are still going to have to navigate distance learning more than half of the week, but now they're going to have to do it without the assistance of their teacher because their teacher is expected to teach lessons in person at the same time. And of course, on top of all of that, we still have all of the major safety concerns that everyone has talked about today. As teachers, what we are experts in is providing an effective education for our students. And we all know, looking at this plan, this will not do this. This will be a worse education for our students, and that is why we need to fight to stay in distance learning, where we can do the best we can and have done the best we can with this current plan. Thank you so much for being here today.